Why is it, kung kailan nasa bahay ako, parang feel ko wala akong time.
Yeah. Nafe-feel nyo rin ba yung anxiety kapag kunyari hindi nyo pa natatapos yung task pero tapos na yung 8 hours post, tapos nandiyan lang yung laptop mo like staring at you, tapos nag-guilt ka na parang, hoy, hindi mo pa ako natatapos, ano ginagawa mo dyan? Nasa kama ka lang.
It haunts you.
Woo, dead inside. So, con number 1, internet.
Alam mo ba sabi namin ni Kara, bakit parang hindi gumagalaw si Kim? Smile ka lang.
Smile ka lang. As in,
Hindi gumagalaw si Kim.
Nakakainis naman yung internet kung kailan kailangan ko siya tsaka siya naglolo.
Ganon talaga. Parang pag-ibig joke.
Ay, wow! Tama mo yan sa bloopers mo, girl.
Are you guys ready? Because we're opening up to the real talks. Welcome back to Coffee with Chinititas. I'm May.
And I'm Kara. And for today, we will be talking about the realities of working from home. So as we all know, ever since the COVID-19 started, since March, we have been in quarantine. So we have transitioned from ECQ, MECQ, and now GCQ, but still under quarantine. So many of the companies right now have transitioned to working from home instead of the office setup. So for today, we have invited one of our close friends to talk about the realities of working from home. So maybe without further ado, may we welcome our dearest friend, Kimberly Pavon. Hi, Kim. So we want to ask you first for today is, how are you today and how are you this quarantine?
Well, today I'm okay because it's Saturday, it's the weekend. So I'm chill today. House quarantine, still staying at home, still working from home, nothing new. Sometimes it gets boring already kasi walang mapuntahan. But other than that, quarantine is, in a way, I guess, okay. Maybe I'll talk about that later. Parang right now, as of 4:17 p.m., I'm still chill. I'm still okay because it's the weekend. So, not really stressed or pressured right now. I don't feel any pressure right now.
That's great.
But yeah. Pero ngayon lang yun.
Sulitin na.
I don't want to think about Monday.
How are you doing in terms of your work other than, it's weekend today?
There are days that work is piling up, but there are also days that it's normal. But I think the biggest difference on how I work now during COVID versus pre-COVID is, I guess there's no set structure or timeline na, because syempre before when you're reporting in the office, it's the usual 9 to 6 p.m. and afterwards it's tapos na, like we can do whatever we want because it's assuming that we've done everything or all the work we can sa office. But now there's like a blur in terms of how, or like, should I still work after 6 p.m. for example, because I think the notion right now is nasa bahay ka lang naman. So, why can't you answer? Why can't you pick up your phone? Diba? But I feel like it's kind of a negative mindset na not all, but some companies are adopting that kind of mindset na you're working from home, so you should be reachable every time, you should be contactable whenever we want. Pero which is strange because a work from home setup should make you feel more flexible na you have more time for yourself. You can wake up later than usual because you don't have to drive to the office. But what's happening right now is it's the opposite, because right now, sometimes at 10 p.m. or 9 p.m., maybe you're expected to still reply, you're still expected to entertain questions, even if you can answer them the next day. And yeah. So parang for me, that's the biggest challenge or adjustment. I feel like I'm not really struggling but coming into terms with during this period because of course I still want time for myself, but why is it
Yeah.
kung kailan nasa bahay ako parang feel ko wala akong time.
Yeah, exactly.
Diba? Na parang I eat lunch 3 p.m. sometimes. Tapos parang ako, hindi ko ito nagagawa dati. When I was in office, when it's 12 p.m., I eat lunch. Like, it's automatic. Pero bakit ngayon na nasa bahay ako, sometimes I forget to eat. Na parang,
Nadi-disrupt na yung ano natin, yung parang yung routines natin na parang when we were in office, there was this so-called lunch break where everyone goes out to eat or goes to a canteen to eat. Right now, parang nangyayari is you just keep on working kasi minsan hindi sadya nag-extend ka so parang iniisip mo na lang, tapusin ko na rin 12 to 1 para parang I can get off like on time or something. Pero yun, parang I think totoo yung sinabi mo na in working from home, parang na-disrupt na yung buong body clock mo, na-disrupt na yung routines mo na parang literally, siguro in my side, parang nangyayari is I wake up, I work, I sleep. Parang na-feel ko
Yun na lang,
it's
totoo.
so true.
na you go out, you socialize with people, you have dinner, parang wala na, sobrang disrupted na, you're stuck at home and then lahat na routine na sa bahay lang din. So parang, alam mo yun.
That's
Yeah, a lot
so
of employees actually are dealing with these kinds of problems, especially adjusting to work from home. Una, inaakala natin lahat na super dali because we have all the time that we want na at home. But then again, mahirap siya kasi when it comes to time management, mas parang lumalabo na siya. It all gets jumbled up. Addition to that, just being in quarantine is actually a bit depressing. So a lot of people are actually telling their companies na parang working from home, it also affects our mental health. It triggers anxiety, depression, and on top of that, juggle all the work, the pressure. So it's really, really hard. So to all the listeners who are dealing with this right now, we really want to dive into this topic and tell you that you're not alone and that we're surviving this together. To those who are unaware or can't relate, I hope that you could never experience this. I hope that this is an opportunity for you guys to open up your world to the people who have been dealing with these problems. And I hope that there won't come a time talaga na you'll experience these things. But what can you say is triggering the work from home burnout? Like, how is it different from the work burnout during pre-pandemic?
For me, it's more of really the situation because this pandemic, there's a lot of uncertainty. Like, we don't know how long this will last. We don't know how companies keep themselves afloat. We see a lot of business closing down. And I feel like the difference between the burnout is because pre-COVID, we're at the age of stability. You know, companies are growing. We don't have to worry about our job security. We don't have to worry that tomorrow we won't have a job anymore. But right now, when we see a lot of negative news out there, and it's a reality that's happening, it's just not news we see some retrenched or fired because, you can't blame the companies because they're trying their best.
It's a very difficult time for
and
everyone.
It's kind of like, I feel like, it's the last resort for them to fire people. But I think that's some people are like more anxious when they work. Like, if I don't perform, I might get fired tomorrow. And because of that, we overwork. We push ourselves, we force ourselves to overwork, even if we know that it's beyond our work hours already. We don't get overtime. This is like voluntary work in a way. But it's because we're trying to console ourselves. We're trying to prove to the company that I'm valuable. You can't fire me, which is not healthy when you think about it because you don't think about these things pre-COVID. You just do your best.
Exactly.
But now it's like you do your best, but you need to exert like 100 times more effort.
Yeah.
Because you're scared. Yeah, because you're scared. So I feel like that's the main difference why we get burnt out.
She said it so wonderfully.
I know.
So on point. Like na speechless kami kasi sobrang on point talaga siya na parang,
Relate.
Alam niyo, parang feeling ko other people don't realize this talaga na parang why they're exerting so much effort na even after working hours, they're still checking their emails, they're still checking if meron ba may kailangan ng something. And especially now, parang I think pre-COVID times din kasi na we didn't have to worry about if we're gonna lose our jobs. We just have to work within the hours. And parang feeling ko nung time na yun, everyone was doing well. The businesses are doing well. Economy is good. But then now, parang everything just dropped. And then added pa yung health issue na you're not secured din. So parang dagdag yung pressures and stress na you have to have this parang emergency money, emergency plan. Kasi, like, what if you lose your job, diba? Tapos nagka-COVID pa, and then ang gulo pa ng mga nangyayari. So, it adds the extra fear that people experience.
Yeah. Now that you said that, parang naisip ko, wow, we're kind of lucky na we're not moms yet, or we don't have a family na kailangan natin mag-earn a lot of money para lang ma-stay afloat yung buong fam mo, ganun. Kasi I know other people na parang lahat ng anak nila, syempre now, is going through yung online schools, online courses, mga ganun. So, lahat talaga nag-aagawan. Hindi lang sa internet, pero sa time, sa kwarto, like, alam mo yun, parang lahat kailangan mo talaga i-juggle when you're a parent. And that's like a lot heavier in terms of dealing with work sa quarantine compared sa atin.
Emotional.
But not saying na parang hindi naman mabigat yung atin. Kasi, syempre, iba-ibang tao, iba yung na-experience, and iba-iba rin yung mga bigat.
Yeah. Pero speaking of working beyond working hours, how much time do you allot for work usually in a day?
That's a good question. Ako malabo. Depende sa workload. Talaga. Kapag nasa stress na ako sa ginagawa ko, mag-work ako until ma-fix ko siya. Ganun akong klaseng tao. What about you guys?
Same feels. So ako naman, I try my very best talaga to fit everything in 8 hours. It's just that sometimes parang because of anxiety din, you worry na parang, hala, what if parang hindi ko pa rin to maayos tomorrow. So parang hindi mo gusto, pero like mapupush ka na. Sige, check ko muna. Sige, makakaya ko naman in 1 hour ayusin. And then you would exceed na lang bigla na parang, wow, anong oras na? Parang ganun. Kasi parang feeling ko din, since we're all working from home, parang I'm not cautious of the time na. Parang hindi ko na nafe-feel na nagsa-stop yung work. Kasi unlike before, diba? Parang, pag 6 p.m., it dies down, everyone goes home. So parang, siguro in your alert system sa brain mo na parang, uwian na, ganun. Ito parang, ito na yung bahay mo plus work.
Yeah.
Nafe-feel nyo rin ba yung anxiety kapag kunyari hindi nyo pa natatapos yung task, pero tapos na yung 8 hours, kunyari nag-10 hours ka na, pero hindi mo pa tapos yung task, tapos hindi mo siya kayang iwan na hindi pa siya tapos, tapos nandiyan lang yung laptop mo, like staring at you, tapos nag-guilt ka na parang, hoy, hindi mo pa ako natatapos, ano ginagawa mo dyan, nasa kama ka lang.
It haunts you.
That's true. I mean, in my case, that's also true na parang feel ko, it also depends. Pero I also feel like the environment plays a part because everyone is pressured eh. I mean, I'm not sure if this is applicable to you guys, but for some industries, mas naging active yung group chats at night because unlike before na the pandemic is not such a problem in terms of keeping the companies afloat. Right now, we're all like fighting, we're all trying to grow. And because of that, mas maraming mga needs or like mas maraming mga asks just to meet our targets and stuff like that na parang feel ko, this COVID, mas naging active rin yung mga tao because everyone feels the same way. Siguro subconsciously, they don't think about it as much na parang maybe they feel like they're just replying casually. Pero that's in a way the sad thing because unintentionally and maybe subconsciously, we're doing it. Now we're replying, tapos parang kita natin. We're like, sometimes nakahiga na ako, it's 11 p.m. and I'm still checking my work messages before I sleep. I dream about work. I mean, that only happened during COVID. Parang nung pre-COVID, I dream about...
Lumampas ka na nung pinahinipan mo na siya. Iba na yan, Kim.
Yeah, as in like, parang pagising ko, kala ko nagtrabaho ako. Wait, oh no, it's a dream.
Oh,
Then you have to do it all over again.
Worst nightmare.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as frequent as before. I mean, sure, maybe once or twice na-dream ko siya konti. Pero ngayon, like, sometimes a week straight, na-dream ko is work. As in,
Oh my
so parang,
God.
yeah, so parang feel ko na subconsciously, maybe even when I'm sleeping, I'm still thinking about work. And I don't know if the people like listening to this is also experiencing the same things. But I feel like it's not as rare as I think.
Yeah.
Because yun nga, parang everyone's feeling the same kind of work burnout at times.
Yeah, feeling ko kasi hindi na nasa-set yung boundaries. Parang kasi we're all trying to survive. So parang wala nang boundary. Nasa bahay ka lang naman. So parang people parang unsubconsciously na take advantage na ay nasa bahay ka lang eh. So I think yun talaga yung parang isa talaga sa biggest cons of working from home na talagang mapupush ka eh. And the effect is big. Like tingnan mo na-dream mo siya every day. Like I imagine kung ano yung nafe-feel mo, yung anxiety mo. I think, girl, I feel you. Ang tindi. Nakakatakot talaga actually. And
Nakakatakot i-dream ang work.
oo, girl, wala naman, grabe na yun. So, buti naman weekends, nakaka-off ka naman. Like, you get to relax naman kahit pa paano. Minsan
It
hindi.
depends also. Like, right now, for me is chill. Like, not chill, but manageable. But there are some weeks na even on weekends, I had to work talaga. Because hindi lang naman ako yung nagtatrabaho. Everyone is, hello? Hello?
Ayan,
Oh,
okay.
we hear you.
Kala ko yung internet ko naman eh.
Ayan na.
Okay yun, that's
Wala
also
ulit
a
si
con. But yun,
Nakatawa si Kim sa akin.
just smiling.
Smiling through the anxiety and pain of working.
Oh my. Dead inside. Woo, dead inside. Ano ba?
Wait,
Saan na ba
sama
ako?
mo yan sa intro. Gusto ko yung
You're dead inside.
Sobrang nakakatawa. Sobrang gusto ko siya sa intro talaga.
Nakalimutan ko na kung saan ako nag-stop.
Yung sa weekend.
Ayun, naalala ko na. So parang even if you really want to relax ng weekend, if you really need to deliver stuff sa Monday, you have to do it. And syempre, hindi lang naman kasi ikaw nag-work eh. Your other colleagues will be working on the weekend. So even if you want to rest, it doesn't give you kind of like an excuse to shut your phone. So even if you know na it's not supposed to be that way, parang if nakikita mo yung
Cope na lang.
colleagues mo na, they're also working on weekend, nag-overtime din
Oh
sila.
my God.
That also, in a way, adds it to your anxiety. Yeah, kasi like parang, shocks, am I not doing enough? Oh my gosh, what if like, isipin nila ako yung pinakatamad dito and they fire me? Like, ako yung next na tatanggalin nila if ever magkaroon ng retrenchment. So, that
Same
goes
thought,
back to
Kim.
the point. Diba? Like, that goes back to the point na we're becoming more competitive this quarantine, this time, because of the situation. And that's affecting our burnout and our mental health.
True. Malala yung nagagawa talaga nung nagiging setup natin with the pandemic. Parang feeling ko naman, if we weren't in a pandemic, do you think okay mag-work from home? If we weren't in a pandemic,
I mean,
Mas better.
for me, I feel it could be better because una-una, less cost. So you don't need to pay for gas, you don't need to pay for parking, you get to sleep more. And second, I feel like businesses are not as parang, alam mo yun, like pressured to earn money or like to do more things because they're doing fine on their own. Or they're doing fine on a regular parang work day, ganon. But because of the pandemic, parang yun nga, we need to do double time because daming nangyayari, daming nagsasara na businesses. So, I feel like a work from home setup actually, may perks rin siya eh. Kasi, yun nga, diba, like I said, na flexibility dapat, parang ganon. and more time for yourself. Like pag 6 p.m., you can just go ahead and do your thing. Versus if nasa office ka, you drive home, you arrive 9 p.m. So, tapos ma-regress ka na, pagod ka na. So, that's the ideal. Yeah, like that's the ideal scenario. But what's happening now is different. It's quite different from a normal work from home setup.
Na-miss niyo na ba mag-drive? Curious lang ako. I just wanted to plug the question out there.
I think nakakapag-drive pa kami ni Kim. Like, I do drive, like, especially on grocery runs or errands, going to the vet, parang ganun.
Ganun na lang ba yung ano natin, relaxation
Ganun na lang.
hobbies? Yun na lang ba? Kasi parang feeling ko kasi nung naging work from home, parang yung mga days na parang I need to go out, let's say, grocery or like, super errands or something, yung super important na errands, parang doon na ako nare-relax. I mean, yes, it is scary outside. But then parang yun lang yung time na hindi ako nag-iisip paano yung work ko. Parang ganun. And kaya parang, alam mo yun dati, parang wala naman tayong ganun feelings.
Yeah. Somehow parang na-associate ko na yung room ko with working dahil yun na yung buong work setup ko. So every time I go out of the house, parang wow, I'm free. Ito na yung off hours ko dahil nasa labas na ako ng bahay. Tapos pagbalik ko ng bahay, pagbalik ko na rin parang, kahit na weekday, sometimes I like look over it, so like I see my laptop. Tapos parang naaalala ko yung mga things that I have to do, yung mga hindi mo kailangan isipin over the weekend, naiisip mo.
That's so true.
Yeah, dati
Hindi ka nakakatahimik.
Yeah, exactly.
Hindi ka nakatahimik sa weekend.
Totoo. Kaya dati may nagsuggest nun na parang dapat yung work from home setup mo, dapat like fix na doon ka lang daw talaga nag-work para lang kahit papano daw may boundaries daw. Like dapat you should be working in the same floor. Huwag ka mag-work sa bed or huwag ka daw mag-work kunyari dining or pwede naman dining pero like doon ka lang talaga mag-work. Kasi parang if iba-iba ata yung spot mo, parang it becomes, hindi mo na ma-identify kung ano yung home feels at ano yung work feels. Parang it smashes into one na. Na parang it's like your home is your office.
Yeah. Wow, parang social office mo na pala yung bahay mo. Pero do you have any advices ba? Any advices to the people who are dealing with this?
I guess if I can say na ito yung mga advices na lagi kong narinig from other people when they talk to me. So it's more like
what do you think works for you na lang?
Oh, what does
sa lahat ng sinabi niya sa'yo, what worked for you?
Parang feel ko kasi it also depends on your personality. For example, if you're an extroverted person and you really like talking to a lot of people, I think ikaw yung pinaka-affected this pandemic eh. Because when you're working, mag-isa ka lang, kausap mo yung mga tao through Zoom call, but you don't eat lunch with them, you don't talk to them.
It's different. Yes.
It's different. And you feel alone. Like, I think one of the things that I felt is, even before COVID, when I was working on a project alone, I feel fine. Okay lang. Kasi parang, I work, may katabi ako, ganyan. Pero, I'm doing my own thing. But right now, if I'm assigned a project na ako lang, parang I just feel lonelier na parang ang bigat. Like, it shouldn't be that way.
Talaga.
Oo, it shouldn't be that way. Kasi, nagawa ko naman siya dati. Pero parang it felt like it's twice as difficult because you feel alone.
Yeah.
Mas ramdam mo yung pagiging lone. So, I think for me, what worked really is talking. Like, talking. Like, talking to a lot of people.
Therapy session to.
Ganun talaga. I mean, syempre, you should still be careful kung sino yung kausapin mo, di ba? Kasi baka huwag mo naman i-broadcast lahat ng problema mo. Kasi syempre, you can't trust everyone, di ba? Mamaya, di mo alam yung problema mo, kalat na pala sa buong office. So, I mean, that's, kailangan piliin mo rin. Pero for me, it helps kasi parang chatting is different versus, I mean, that's the closest thing I feel na human interaction eh. Na calling, verbally, like just saying what you feel. And kahit nga walang sinasabi yung tao, it's like the mere presence na nakikinig siya, like just listening. Diba? And even if sobrang stupid, like parang tatawa lang siya sa'yo or like wala siyang
Okay na
sasabihin. Oo,
Very
parang,
comforting na.
parang nalabas mo kasi na parang you feel like a big weight is lifted off your shoulders. Like that worked for me. And second thing would be really doing things you like to do. For example, it differs for other people kasi sometimes others do art therapy, journaling. I don't know what works, pero like for example sa akin, bumili ako ng plants. Like, honestly,
Yeah, nakikita ko yun.
Nakita ko sa story.
Good job, Kim. Good job. Proud
I
of you.
mean, plants, matagal nang may ganon. Like, it existed before pa. Parang I think it's a fad or some sort. But parang no time na yun nga pre-COVID. I was like, mamamatay lang naman yan eh. Why are you buying these things? like parang sayang pera. Like, ganun talaga yung view ko sa kanya. And then, I think, cause yung lola ko, siya yung nagsabi pa sa akin. Kasi may lola's a green thumb. Tapos, when I was dealing with all these sadness and some depression, anxiety sa like work and sa pandemic, siya yung kausap ko. And you know how lolas are, yung parang very, hindi ko ma-explain, pero parang wala silang problema. Diba? Like parang,
Very warm and cuddly.
yeah, like
a
wala silang problems, I swear. I mean, they're old and cute and I don't know what they do, but, pero like, I mean, alam mo yun, like, feel ko like, yun yung, how do you say this, the goal na parang, I lived my life, I'm just gonna have fun and everything. So, siya yung nagsabi na, hey, try buying plants because some plants parang nag-induce ng air purifying qualities or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, they make you happy, basically. I mean, so,
Enough reason to buy plants.
Take note
Yeah,
from the tita.
exactly. And no time na yun, I was like, you know what? I have nothing to lose. I'm gonna do everything to be happy. So fine, I'm gonna buy plants. Surprising, pero totoo naman, I got nothing to lose. So surprisingly, it helps naman. I mean, when you see like may tumutubo na parang baby leaf or baby something, like, natutuwa ka. Parang, oh my gosh, didn't die on me. Parang ganon. Even if like, if there's such a thing as a plant noob, that's me. I swear. So like, parang, okay, medyo off topic, but like, yung friend ko, kasi nag-story ako, IG story, I bought this parang spray can sa Shopee. So, pinasprayan ko yung leaves ng plants ko. So, nag-reply siya sa akin, don't spray the leaves! They're gonna rot! Parang ganon. Tapos sabi ko,
What?
yeah, nagulat ako. Tapos sabi ko, really? Sabi niya, yeah, dapat sa soil ka lang nag-spray ng water or something. Especially for snake plants daw. Tapos parang ako oops!
But it did not die. So, yun naman yung pinaka-importante. You got
I mean,
Now you know.
talaga.
Pero grabe, pinunasan, like after niya sinabi yon, tumakbo ako, as in, kinuha ko yung tissue, pinunasan ko yung mga leaves ng plants. I was so scared.
Imagine ko.
Yung feeling na pag namatay yung plants, magiging sobrang sad ko na hindi ko maintindihan. Na parang, I don't know, parang yung feeling na plants na lang inaalagaan ko, mamamatay pa. What more if living thing yung plant, but like yung gumagalaw and good. Like, thankfully, hindi pa siya patay.
Proud of you, girl.
So,
Proud of you.
That's new. That's something new this quarantine. I never even imagined myself buying plants. I mean, wow. Wow.
Coping
Who are
101.
you?
Buy plants if you want
Yeah, who is
happiness.
she?
Ikaw, Bahara, what do you do?
I play Sims 4.
Sobrang addict mo nga doon. Yeah.
I build houses and create characters. Tapos parang lahat sila, I create like parang may story na siya sa head ko. So, yung
Wow.
pag-customize ko nung person dun sa sim, like, ni-research ko pa kung saan ako pwede makakuha ng free hairstyle. Kasi syempre, limited lang yung options na meron ko. So, like, nag-search ako sa YouTube parang saan ako makaka-download ng mga free hairstyles that will work. Tapos yun, pati outfits, ganyan. Like, I even look at YouTube lookbooks parang fall collection, winter collection. So, depende siya sa mood. Tapos parang nag-iipon ako ng money, parang bumili ng mga expansion packs, ganyan. Pag nagsisale sila, parang bibili ako. Tapos sasabihin ko, isa lang muna bibilihin ko, ganyan. Kasi maubos yung pera ko. So, ganun ko siya naging coping. Parang,
You do you.
yeah. Kasi before
Pero
pandemic,
sobrang
wala akong
helpful
time.
mga ganun. Yung mga life
Yeah.
games. Kasi di ba yung Animal Crossing, nauso siya start of quarantine because you can't go out. So ang gagawin mo, yung avatar mo na lang yung lalabas para sa'yo.
Agree.
Wow, yun na yun.
Ganun yung ginagawa ko sa Sims 4. As in, parang feeling ko, gumawa na super daming families kasi parang yung mga jobs nila iba-iba. Meron artist, meron teacher. Feeling ko, nire-relive ko lang yung life ko paulit-ulit. So parang feeling ko, if nasa stress ako, parang dun ko na siya binubuhos. Kasi parang sobrang invested ko talaga. Like, I can play for hours. Tapos parang masaya ako after na parang, hindi ko, ang dami ko nagawa, pero virtual world lang yung ginawa ko. Pero ganun yung coping ko. Pero agree ako with Kim na parang, I think marami sa atin during quarantine, parang we tried a lot of things para mag-cope. Kasi parang siguro sa start ng quarantine, everyone was like, sa bahay lang, higa-higa lang, chill lang. Pero like, dadating ka kasi talaga sa point na parang kinakain ka na ng work and parang nakahiga ka lang sa kama will not be enough na para makakope ka ng maayos. So parang kailangan mo na maghanap ng something to do. Kaya feeling ko this pandemic, marami naging creative people.
That's
Marami
true. Naglabas yung mga hope. Yeah!
Dami nagplantita,
chef.
dami ng
Ayan.
mga games,
Team.
nagre-review, live streamers. may, like us, gumawa na tayo ng podcast. Kasi, like, yung sinabi ni Kim, sobrang agree talaga ako na parang talking helps. Kasi ako, siguro, dati, lagi ko sinasabi na introvert ako. Pero feeling ko talaga, mix of both ako na extrovert and introvert. Kasi nung pandemic talaga, parang, hindi ko na namalayan na, ang dami ko na parang held back na words and feelings. So parang every time may nakaka-Zoom call ako or may ka-call lang, parang sumasabog na yung, ang dami kong kwento. Kasi OMG, ang cute niyan. Ang dami kong kwento.
It's
Kasi
Marshall from Animal Crossings.
OMG! Meron siya, ang cute. Pero yun, totoo yung sinabi
Binili
talaga
ko
ni
sa
Kim, nakarelate ako na parang yung talking or nagkukwento ka lang, it really, really, really helps. Kasi parang sa work, diba? Parang, hindi ko na, alam mo yun, ngayon mo lang na-appreciate yung mga seatmates mo, yung mga times na parang pahinga ka kahit dyan lang sa pantry, order ka lang, kuha ka lang sa vendo machine ng coffee. Parang yun yung pala yung mga times na nakaka-cope tayo sa work, parang, alam mo yun, it makes it parang fun and bearable, lalo na pag stress ka. So, alam mo yun, parang totoo talaga na if you want to talk to someone, like, go. As in, reach out ka lang. Huwag ka na mahiya. Kasi mahirap ang buhay ngayon.
Yes.
Nakamalay mo, diba? Yung kausap mo, gusto rin pala ng kausap. Hindi lang niya na-realize.
Naka
Sige.
40 minutes na tayo.
Sige.
Oh, wow.
Ayun.
Grabe. Hindi ko na malayan.
Ang bilis, no? Oo nga eh. Kapag nagsalita talaga, parang ang bilis-bilis. Lalo na when you're talking with friends, parang, 1 hour na? Usually, di ba, sobrang minsan lang natin Zoom call. Pero when we do, hours tayo nag-Zoom call.
That's true. Ibig sabihin, madaldal din tayo.
Nade-deprive na tayo with
lahat ng
words.
words.
Ay!
So, ayun. Yun lang, the end. Charot. So, to wrap this all up, ano yung, for you guys, yung pinaka final word of advice nyo to the people watching? Na parang, how do you exactly deal with work from home burnout?
Sige, I'll start na lang. I guess, first would be, no matter how hard, is to set your boundaries. Na if you feel na what you're doing is making you feel tired and whatnot, parang you need to think of your boundary na parang, is it, let's say, working, for example, kasi ako, I don't mind working on weekends naman if kailangan. Pero, syempre, some people might have a lot of things to do. For example, yung na-mention ni Janica na baka may pamilya sila, they have to take care of kids, they have to do stuff. So parang, what's your boundary and what will make you happy? I think identifying that first. Second, not to be too hard on yourself because I mean, yun nga, we want to do more. We want to prove ourselves to the companies we're working for because we're scared. Pero don't be too hard on yourself kasi as long as you know you're doing your best, you don't need to over-exert. Kasi ikaw lang nahirapan eh. I mean, you're just making it difficult for yourself and your mental health. And lastly, third advice ko siguro is to just move forward. I mean, as cliche as it sounds, like I'm very proud of you guys for like, I mean, no matter how burnt out, we still wake up, you know, we still push, we still fight. Even if sabihin natin ayoko na, pagod na ako, ginagawan pa rin natin ng paraan. Like we're here right now because we braved through the difficult days, the difficult weeks. And we know na this is not the end. There will be more difficult weeks, days ahead of us. Pero nagawa na natin once, so kaya natin ulit. And parang I read something the other day because parang during this time, ang dami ko ding nasalihan ng mga mental health groups sa Facebook because reading really helps me din. And may nag-post something na if what you're anxious about is not something that will matter 5 years from now, then it should not stay in your mind for more than 5 minutes. Na parang nung binasa ko yun, I felt like it's really good advice kasi parang lahat tayo nag-overthink eh. Pero yun nga, parang when we think about it, we've dealt with harsh days before. And nakalimutan na natin most likely ano yung bakit tayo naging depressed nung time na yun. So, it won't matter, right? So, parang, yun, I think, no matter how hard it is, if we just keep that in mind, it helps. Kasi ako, to be honest, I still get episodes. I still get depressed and anxious. Pero, yun na lang, I try to remind myself mga bagay-bagay na nababasa ko din.
Naputol ka sa I would like to remind myself.
Natawa ko biglang lumabas yung ano niya.
I would like myself. Tapos biglang, chong! Wala na in between.
So guys, one of the cons, internet connection.
Animal Crossing. I would like to remind myself, Animal Crossing.
I would like to remind myself, YOLO! Well, parang more of like ano lang, there are better days ahead. So, I mean, it's not the end. And kaya natin to. Right, Marshall?
Kaya natin to.
Very
Push,
wise
guys.
words from Kim. On point yung sinabi niya, guys. And you guys are enough. Like, please don't forget, you are good enough. Kaya, just try your best.
Yeah,
and
be
your best
kind
is
to
always
yourself.
enough. Yes, exactly. Very true.
I think that's like a good way to end this episode.
Yeah.
Especially the wise words from Kim. I love the quote that you shared. Parang parang wow.
Napaisip ko
Ang dami
na
kong anxious about na things na parang hindi ko nga dapat kailangan palakihin pa. Parang ganun.
Agree.
But yeah, that's something we have to keep in mind. Thank you guys for watching. Remember that if you feel sad or like if you have a problem, if you're dealing with work from home burnout, please do reach out to somebody, a friend, a family member, talk to someone. It will probably help by a little bit. Thank you for listening or watching to our coffee talk session. If you have any stories to tell or if you're looking for advices, make sure to go to ano email natin?
Please go to
Chinititas@gmail.com. Yeah, bakit ko nakalimutan yan?
Down below.
Anyway, don't forget to hit like and comment down below what are the coping mechanisms or things that help you through the work from home burnout. Maybe you will help somebody out there who's watching this. Don't forget to click rate if you're on Spotify, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you, Kim, so much.
Thank you. Insert clap emoji.
Oh my God, insert clap. Where is clap? Sobrang noob. Clap, 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 clap.
It's a reaction.
Clap!